Hi friends and fellow stampers, this is Nancy Gleason coming to you from my stamping space, and I wanted to show you the brand new 2026 to 2028 InColors, and especially the new magnetic ink pads that we have. So right now the new ink pad style is only available on the 2026 to 2028 InColors. So let's take a look at those first. So we have Peaceful Pine. I think this is going to be my new favorite green, and this is the cardstock to go with the ink pad. So you can see that's just a beautiful green. It's not too dark, it's not too light. It's a bluer green more than a yellowish green, but it's just absolutely, I think, just the perfect shade and perfect hue. So Peaceful Pine, first up on the list. And then next we have Hydrangea Hue. And this really is just the perfect bluish with a touch of purple, just like a hydrangea. So this is called Hydrangea Hue. And then the next color up is Barely Blush. And this is just a very light pink. I think it's going to be just a great color. It's so light, it could almost work almost as a neutral. So a nice color there. And then the next color is Crisp Cantaloupe. And for those of you who have been around Stampin' Up! For a while, Crisp Cantaloupe is a returning color. This was a color back in, I believe it was 2013. So you have to have been around a while to remember this. But we have Crisp Cantaloupe, again, just a nice, almost like pinky, orangey shade. It's not really a coral. It's a little more pinky than a coral, but it's not really a pink either because it has that little bit of orange in it. And then next on the list is Golden Glow. And I think Golden Glow is going to be just another favorite of mine. It's almost like a mustard color, but a little brighter mustard. So I think this is going to be a great color as well. So those are the InColors, and I'll show them to you again with the cardstocks. So you can see the different colors right here. Peaceful Pine, Hydrangea Hue, Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, and Golden Glow. So now that you've seen the colors, let's take a look at the ink pads. So what's nice about the ink pads, as I said, they're magnetic. So the lids just come right off. The ink is still on the lid, so when it's closed, the ink is face down, so gravity is going to help pull the ink to the surface of the pad. But the covers are magnetic, and they'll even just magnet to themselves so that the lid stays underneath the pad when you're stamping with it. But easy enough to open, and what's nice is it just closes real easy. Now what I chose to do, the pads do have labels on the back, and what I chose to do, since the top of the ink pad has the name on it, I chose to put it on the bottom edge. But then what I also wanted to do was put it on the inside, since I'll never be able to tell what that color is. So I'm going to show you how to put one of the labels together. And I should mention too that the ink pads are just slightly larger than the current ink pad as far as the length. So if I compare these two together, you can see that it's just a little bit longer. Width-wise, it's just a tad bit skinnier, and then height-wise, almost even. This is a little bit higher than this, but it has a bevel edge, but it's not much different. And in case you're wondering, these do fit into the Stampin' Up! Ink storage holders. So the pads stick out a little bit longer than these, but they still fit in perfectly. Okay, so I'm just like, you can't see my Stampin' storage, but they fit real nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to peel off one of the labels for Crisp Cantaloupe. I think if I had my take your pick tool, it would be a lot easier. And I am going to, if I can get it lined up right. Put this on the bottom. So from the edge, when this is in my stamp pad holder, I can see the name. And like I said, the name is on the top. So when I take it apart, I know I have the name here, and then I have the name here on the bottom. But what I also want to do is take off a label to put on the inside. And this is so nice because, well, at least nice for us here in the US, there's two different labels that are both in English, and then we have other languages. But even when you take the labels off, the name is printed underneath it. So even when you take it off, it's still there. So now I'm just going to take this label and pop it on the inside. So this way when it's open, I know what it is. And I can open my pads and they'll magnet together like this. They'll kind of fold like a book. I can take this off and put my ink pad on top of the lid and then use it just like that. So these pads are just so nice, especially for anyone that has problems with their fingers, maybe arthritis or joint pain, and it just has been a little too hard to use this, where you have to lift it and then push it and kind of slide it in and not get ink all over your hands, and then pull it back out and close it and snap it. This new design is going to be so much easier. So for now, the new magnetic ink pad is only available on the, or I should say with the 2026 to 2028 InColors. Now next year, the magnetic ink pad will be made available for all our colors. So what do you think? Leave me a comment and tell me what you think, how you're liking the new InColors. What's your favorite so far? What's your thought about the magnetic ink pad? Yay or nay? When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, an ink pad change. No big deal, right? No biggie. Just going to be a little bit different than what we currently have. But nope, after opening them and using them, total game changer. It is going to make opening and using your ink pads so much easier. And let's face it, I know we don't all like to admit this, but we're not getting any younger, right, friends? And with age comes some challenges like joint pain, like arthritis, like just difficulty moving. So I think that this magnetic ink pad is going to be a welcome change into our ink pads. So leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and then come back and I'll have some more projects that I'm going to make for you using these new ink colors. All right, see you soon, Stampers. Bye-bye.